Hello, and welcome back for another episode of the Accessible Technology Podcast. I'm your host, Phoebe Lyle, and this is a podcast all about how we can make everyday technology more accessible for disabled people, as well as covering what everyday technologies are more accessible and less accessible if you're disabled, and also sometimes covering how technology companies can keep on making their technology more accessible. So if that is something that you're into, please consider giving it a follow and sharing it. My interest in everyday technology that is accessible for disabled people comes largely from the fact that I am paralyzed from the neck down, which means that I can only move my head, and for that reason I can only use technology with either a chopstick or a stylus in my mouth. You can listen to this podcast by searching for it on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and Spotify. However, if you'd like to support the podcast and the content I produce in other ways, you can also support it by going over to the Phoebes Now Buy Me a Coffee page, which is where you will be able to give me a one-time donation, find exclusive episodes that aren't part of the podcast, or check out other products that I will be releasing soon. In this episode, you're going to be hearing a review of the Blue Snowball ICE microphone, which is the microphone that I use to record this podcast, as well as voiceovers for anything that I do on the YouTube channel, and also for the reaction videos that I do on there. But here's some additional notes about the microphone and the company as well before I fully get into the review. So Blue was founded in 1995, and it began manufacturing high-performance microphones targeted at professionals from the get-go. In 2005, they launched their first professional USB microphone, known as the Blue Snowball, and the Blue Snowball ICE was released soon after, with a few extra features compared to the Snowball, including a custom cardioid condenser capsule. In the modern day, both the Blue Snowball and the Blue Snowball ICE microphones are still available, and they are really affordable to buy, with the cost going between £38.99 £55. So they are affordable if you are from a low budget background, or if you don't want to spend too much money on a high performance, more expensive microphone. But now that I've said all of that, let's jump straight in to the review. So, as the name of this microphone suggests, the Blue Snowball ICE is made by the company Blue Microphones, and it is a good microphone for those who are looking to get into recording but who are wanting to do it on a budget and is much cheaper than the other microphone. Blue microphones also sell, which is the Blue Yeti. Coming with Blue's custom condenser capsule, it is capable of delivering crystal clear audio quality, miles ahead of the built-in microphone quality on your computer, and it can also be used for the likes of recording, podcasting, voiceovers, Twitch gaming, as well as YouTube videos. And the microphone is compatible with PC computers as well as Mac. Coming in a white and blue box, the front of it includes a photo of the microphone head with the word ICE in blue behind it and the word snowball in the E. You also have a bit of information at the bottom, as well as a miniature photo of the microphone once it's been set up. And as we look round the side, we'll find information on the audio specs. Inside the box, you have the microphone stand, the USB cable, the microphone head, and some paperwork. And the microphone head will also be in a separate box within the package, but it is very easy to unwrap. The only bit of setting up the microphone that people with physical disabilities might find difficult and might prefer to get someone else to help out with is when putting all the pieces together. You have to twist a couple of times to get the microphone attached to the stand, and even then you might have to change the capsule options at the back depending on how you want to set it up. After the microphone is set up, you would just need to put the USB cable into the back, and that's when you're ready to use it. So what do I think about the Blue Snowball ICE microphone overall? Well, overall, it is a very good sounding microphone, and although you will have to place it as close to your mouth as possible to get good sound, it actually doesn't catch the sound of my ventilator as much, especially since I've started using the pop filter in front of it. It's also a good budget microphone, so if you want to keep to cheap products while setting up your own podcast or YouTube channel, this will definitely get you good sound, but it might not be the best for anyone who wants as much independence as they can get, and it also might not be the best if you want to buy the best in the business, because there are other ones that you could get. So now that you have all of those details, let me ask, have you bought this Blue Snowball ICE microphone before? And what are your thoughts on it if you did? Do you like or dislike anything about it? Well, if you do, you can pass on your thoughts to me by giving this podcast a review wherever you're listening to this on. as well as via the contact pages over on my Fabeslow Tech Reviews site, pltechreviews.co.uk, or on my other website, phoebelow.com. If you would like to check out some of the videos that I have uploaded on accessible technology before, you can find all of them by searching for PL Tech Reviews on YouTube. But if you would also like to see a couple of my accessible tourism reviews, as well as my film, TV, theatre reviews, and political videos, you can find them by searching for Fabeslow Journalism on YouTube. And if you would like video-free versions of all of those for any reasons, such as just preferring a podcast version, or because maybe you're driving or you just don't have the time to watch a video, you can find the podcast version by searching for the Phoebes Now podcast on all of the same destinations as you can listen to this podcast on. But of course, there is also the Buy Me a Coffee page. In the next episode, I'll be returning to a couple more adaptive gaming tips as I give you a comparison episode between the old Manfrotto arm that I covered in an earlier experiment with adaptive gaming episode compared to a budget DIY arm that I made. And then after that, I'll be giving you a review of a 2021-24 inch M1 iMac. I plan to update this podcast 3 times a week, and this will hopefully allow me to jump into more recent tech news soon enough. And from that point on, I'll hopefully be able to turn this podcast into a real accessible tech news reaction podcast. But we'll see how things go in the future. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, you can do so by searching for @FabesLow, and you can also follow my Instagram by searching for The Real Fabeslow, and you can also follow the Fabeslow Tech Reviews site if you have a WordPress account. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you all in the next. Bye!